Makala Fields teaches at the Peace Street campus of the Met, a small public high school in Providence, Rhode Island. The Met, by personalizing education one student at a time, has achieved outstanding results. On average, 75% of its students enroll in college, and 74% of Met students who entered college have either graduated or are still enrolled. One key to the Met's success is Makala and the staff's commitment to the entire school. A commitment that requires each teacher to be a generalist by being an academic advisor for individualized learning plans, a manager of student internships, and a counselor.
So you think it's outside forces that make us stronger? Yeah.
In a way, you look at a kindergarten teacher, which is really a generalist. They look at any kid that comes in. This kid doesn't speak very well yet, I gotta work on this. This kid's starting to read, I gotta work on this. This kid still hits everybody, I gotta work on this. So they're paying attention to that kid. We wanna do that exact same thing, and just at a more sophisticated level.
The rewards of being a generalist are A, the walls are down, you can explore everywhere and anywhere. That you can take a thread of learning and you don't have to hand it off in 45 minutes. You can stay with it. So you have the opportunity to really go in depth with kids. In particular, you have the very deep satisfaction as a teacher and an educator of knowing that you have been able to impact that kid's learning in a deep way.
What am I going to give you in return?
Teachers, who at the Met are known as advisors, stay with their group of 15 students for 4 years to ensure student success inside and outside the classroom.
Anybody in here proud to be a Met student, a Met advisor, a Met staff? I always referred myself as not your average female, and it wasn't your average type of school, it wasn't your average type of environment, so I ended up here. I really just wanted to work with teenagers to be able to work with them in a positive way. And I need to really be honest, part of it was because I knew I would be able to pursue my passion of dance while I'm teaching teenagers. I knew that I would be able to, if not be able to go out and take dance classes, I knew I would be able to start a dance troupe here in addition to being able to teach students. So that's really what drew me.
At the Met, each student has a quarterly individualized learning plan that combines academic work with the internship experience. The construction of the plan occurs in 3 steps, with the student, parent, and advisor serving as the learning plan team. First, the student is asked to research, explore, and then choose a personal interest. Second, the learning team identifies a specific area the student needs to improve upon, and that becomes the quarterly goal.
So that's something that everybody...
Finally, a spreadsheet is constructed that lists all assignments, deadlines, and action items for the quarter. Students receive the support they need to complete their learning plans in advisory, with learning specialists, and through classes taken at a local community college.
How many people think that they could benefit from this straight big things to do today? The date, you write it down 1 to 12. If it's completed, you check it off. No, David, you don't think...
As an academic advisor, Makala coaches her students to achieve the goals and deadlines laid out in their individual learning plans.
I'm a manager when every Monday morning we have a check-in. Check-in how the weekend went, but to be able to get them started on their day and on their week. Set realistic goals for after school, whether you're staying here after school to get stuff done, whatever it is. And then I would say for the week. Yes. So I hand out their work, their Excel spreadsheets which has their work for the quarter, and then I have them set their goals. I go through the day so they can understand what it's going to look like and how, so they can kind of organize the independent work time. They know they have a structured independent work time or not. At the end of every week, I collect all of their work that was due on Monday, and we have a check-in. Okay, you set these goals at the beginning of the week. Did you accomplish them? And if you did, what helped you accomplish them? If you did not, what got in your way? And then how are we going to start over? You know, what's going to be next for next week? How are we going to set some more realistic goals? That's our new thing versus setting goals, just regular setting goals. Our new thing, which I don't know what took so long to figure out, set realistic goals. So, yeah. First thing you're going to be looking at, what is bacteria? What does it look like? Where does it...
Makala is also responsible for her students' learning growth in all academic subjects.
I said there's good bacteria and there's bacteria that's bad for you, that affects your body and makes you sick.
Parents' major concern about the Met is math and science. Those are the main two things. They understand English. Okay, we have book groups and things like that, but how is my student going to get math? How is my student going to get science? How are they going to get that through project work? How are they going to get that in advisory? They were one advisor for 4 years. What does that mean? They're not going to change classes and report cards? How are they going to get graded? So they're really, really concerned about that. Everybody needs their product, yes?
At the Met, academic learning combines communication skills with empirical, quantitative, and social reasoning through a framework emphasizing real-world concepts.
What characteristics of this company would you want to know before you invest in it? Yes. David.
Isn't it in our best interest to invest in something that gives them back more dividends?
I had a few students who were interested in real-world learning, on being on their own, on getting car insurance and getting a car and getting a job and things. And I connected it to them mainly by just looking at the whole math aspect of it. And we pretty much did it on our own. We went into the newspapers and were able to look at different prices of cars, but on that same level, I was able to bring in interest, I was able to bring in percentages, I was able to bring in some algebraic equations and formulas, which made sense to them on a different level. It's really cool. That's one great thing about the Met, that I was able to be innovative and creative.
She makes learning fun. Like, you know how in other traditional high schools, they'll throw a book in front of you and tell you read this and this. You know, not thoroughly explain it, but just say read this and this and answer the questions. We're going to have a test on this. Makala makes it fun. Like, we had this real life learning, you know, trying to get an apartment and stuff like that. Like, what you're going to do after high school.
What about Lowell? Look how much they went down.
So is that a good time to invest your money in there?
Good question.
I'm just saying, cause you said that like, when the change goes down, the price goes down, so that might be a good chance for you to get in there. And then...
The challenges of being a teacher who's a generalist is I have to relearn. I have to relearn a lot. A lot of it is being able to have confidence in myself and know that I really have to go back and use my resources. I have, fortunately, I'm one of those students who kept some of my textbooks from college. I'll do the best I can through internet, through using the resources around the school. And then if I have to go to the students for help, I do that. I learned a lot by going through this. Like a lot of activities I found were broken down so much easier for me than they were when I was in college. Like I told you, this was my thing. So I'm able to learn as I'm going, which is wonderful. But I think it makes the students feel good when I'm able to lean on them also. Help me with this, you know what I mean? Help me help you. And I'm also honest with them. This is what you want to learn. I did this, but I have to relearn it. So give me, you know, be patient with me and give me a little room, you know, for error.
Red and white blood cells, they fight at each other, and like sometimes like they could give out, and that's how like you could die.
If we have a student who wants to go deeper on an academic subject, and it's definitely not my specialty or another advisor's specialty, one, we definitely have a huge connection with Community College of Rhode Island, where we allow students to be able to go over there and take classes in specific academic areas. We have some students who we brought in some tutors from colleges who were able to help them with advanced math, with pre-calculus. We try our best to make sure that they're well-rounded and make sure that no one's getting left behind.
Advising her students in their individual learning plans is a partnership among Makala, her students, and their parents that often involves home visits.
How are you? Good to see you. Good to see you too.
Every student has a learning plan every quarter. And there's a meeting 4 times a year to plan that. And it's with the parents, the student, the advisor, and if a mentor is involved, the mentor. So 4 times a year, the parent meets with the teacher and the student for, it could be hours, to plan, to review the learning from the last quarter and plan ahead.
this, how to cook that.
That's good though.
Right, told us
Cape Verdean dishes?
Everything.
It's very normal for me to go to a parent's house and talk to them, whether it's for a learning plan meeting or whether it's just a casual conversation about where their student is. It's extremely important, I think, because the parents and the students are able to see where we're coming from, to let them know how serious we are about their education, and to let them know that we do care. And I think aside from caring, to let them know how invested we are and how much feedback we want from them. We're willing to meet you this far, so you come and you meet us here. I will say Eric has come a long way. He's working to his potential now. You know what I mean?
I have the topics I want to talk about.
Yeah.
But to say that all of them are finished, like they stop at just like a certain thing, kind of be like, I want. My mom's fear was to show like if I'm doing it and to really see how she's gonna know, because there was no grades, so she was more into saying like if I'm really doing it, how I'm doing, and how is it gonna be graded? Like, am I doing my work? Am I slacking off?
The reading he's been doing that.
Well, I'm impressed. And the only reason I said we didn't talk about that much is because I didn't know about you reading out loud. But I'm impressed. Eric is on top of the class with this book right now.
I have the answers in my head, like if I write it down or not, because I read ahead. So when she tells us, because we was like, I'm like one chapter ahead.
Yep.
So she tells.
When doing learning plan meetings, sometimes it depends on how receptive the parent is from the beginning, from the phone call. One benefit we definitely have is that I've had my students for 3.5 years, so the parents know me at this level. But not all of them. I don't get as personal with all of the parents. I definitely think the relationship I have with each individual student, with their child, plays a huge role. For instance, when we go to Eric's house, I have such a close relationship with him. He goes home and talks about me all the time. I'm very involved because he wants me to be involved and his mother wants me to be involved.
On the college essay, he did it and he was supposed to have it.
He just needs to do his next draft.
To add the corrections to it from what they did at the exhibition.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because
we really connected right away because I believe from the get-go she had the best interests at heart for Eric. So we were in it together. It was the two of us making sure he did the right thing. So he said sometimes, "Oh, don't gang up on me because we sound so much alike." She really loves her kids and she really wants them to succeed.
As a key component of the Met education, students participate in internships twice a week. In her role as manager, Makala not only helps her students stay on task academically, but she is also a facilitator of their internships.
That's a good idea. I just want to know where you were with figuring out what you wanted to do for the outline for this board. Yeah.
Internships allow students a chance to grow by exploring career paths that fit their interests and encouraging them to take on real-world responsibilities.
We know that everybody learns best when what they're learning is connected to something they're interested in or something they're passionate about. And we know that everybody learns best when they're alongside someone who's proficient in it, who takes them under their wing and brings them along. That's how we learn in the professional world. So that's how we've modeled our school.
Senior year, Met students work with their mentors, advisors, and parents to develop an extended project.
The Senior Thesis Project is the time for you to really dig in and dive deep, into your interest and your passion and really be able to give back to the community. Again, that's a part of being responsible, being independent. So it's really huge because it allows the students to see the power that they have to pursue their passion and really make it work and really touch someone else's life. But also it's just something that they can really be proud of. Just something that they can say, this is something that I did, that I was really into.
Students have the option to experience different internships every semester or keep the same internship year to year.
What heaters do we have? Two. Okay. Two. What size?
Eric has been interning with master plumber Tim Halinas for 4 years and has developed extensive skills in pipe fitting and job planning.
My senior project is basically to go out and help the community with free plumbing work. Being in the plumbing business, I went to houses where there was no running water. So to see that and to see that, I know what I know, And at this age, like they say, I gotta give back to the community. That's a perfect idea to help elderly that can't do it themselves, or to help people that just can't afford it. To help them with my services and my talent.
Makala, how are ya?
Makala's role as manager of student internships takes on a new significance as she assists her students as they successfully complete their senior projects.
He has done up his rough drafts, one as far as what he wants to do, why he wants to do it, and who we plan to do it for.
Okay.
He is on track and on schedule, which is really good because we have a lot to do. He
corrected-
has the rough draft of what I wrote on it.
Okay.
I still have that. And
So all he has to do is just make the corrections on the computer and just print it out.
Correct.
On Met
basically.
letterhead, or should we use B Carbone letterhead?
I would use Met.
Okay. I'm also a manager when it comes to the internships, learning through internships. I'm the one that organizes the meetings, organizes their projects, and help them to kind of manage what they're going to do, get their timelines together, get their proposals together.
from there to get the fellow sheet where they sign at the bottom, right?
Well, liability.
Liability, so we can go to the churches and stuff like that and ask for it.
The other thing is the letters for the supply houses, so that way we can try and start getting
Supplies in.
suppliers lined up to give us what we do need.
I mean, I would say bring that in on Thursday. No? Print it up on letterhead. How many copies should he have?
The more the merrier, really.
All right, I mean, I'll say like 20.
Dude, Makala was great. She, if I had any questions, she was always there to answer my questions. She would go out of her way to make sure that I had the information that I needed, or what we needed to do to complete a project.
Floor drains is one for each bathroom, and then there's 2 in the kitchen.
But he needs to know his mathematics in order to figure a lot of this out. For example, piping. For every 1/16 of an inch, that's equivalent to 1 foot. Okay, so he can basically go in here and look and measure all the piping and give us a rough idea of how much piping we're going to need for this job.
Also kind of manage their relationship with their mentor. A lot of times they're a completely different person in school than they are at their internship. And make sure that they're really using their mentor as a resource.
Tim's my man. I mean, I know him for 4 years. I've been there since I was freshman. Our relationship has grown, and he taught me things, like that your appearance matters, how you dress matters, how you look. You can't stop everybody from judging you, so you have to present yourself way so they would take the time to learn to know you and know what you know. So me and him, we're cool buddies. Like, we joke around. It's all cool. He knows he knows my strengths and my weaknesses, and we work off of each other. And I think he took a liking to me, like, we're cool peoples.
Well, if I had to say some of the things that I've instilled in him, one is respect. Very, very high strung on respect. Be respectful of others and they'll respect you. He has learned that very well. He's come a long way, like I said, but he's a very bright kid and he's eager to learn. After spending 4 years with him, I know him pretty well. I try and include him in other projects outside of work. He's become more of a son, really, than he has a mentee. He's just a great kid. All right, Makala, well, we will keep you abreast of what's going on, if there's any changes or things of that nature, and again, basically, by January, we should be in full motion.
Cool.
Okay? I actually have high hopes of employing him someday. I think he's going to be a very great worker. He knows that whether it's business, personal, or otherwise, all he has to do is pick up the phone and call me at any time, and I'll always be there for him.
Before he graduates, one more ride on the motorcycle. Honestly, wait. One more ride, yeah? Her and her mother and her sister had like this big cry fest. After that, like, oh God, I'm so sorry, I did this to you, and I know it's not about.
The Met expects advisors to assist students in their emotional growth and well-being. And the Met provides support so advisors will be successful in their roles as counselors.
The way I look at my job with my staff is I'm kind of like their advisor, which means that my job is to support them. If there is a weakness that they have around math or something, for instance, someone just asked me about trying to find an internship for a student in a certain way. I help make the connection for it. I help them find resources. I coach them in terms of their working with children and with parents too. So I'm much more a coach than a principal. We're much more a team.
There's no way that the woman who gave birth to you and is raising you should be disrespected. There's no
If you have your own child, you want them to be a lifelong learner. You want them to be passionate. You want them to be able to take risks, to solve problems, to work independently, to be creative, to persevere, to have integrity. All those things, every parent in this country would say yes, yes, yes. And then when you look at schools, they don't teach any of this. It's not important to them. You don't hear about it. And so my thing is, how do you take those things up front and say, how do you create a school that has a kind of environment that can give a kid integrity?
I think it's really up to me if I want to break that cycle.
Exactly.
If I do want to be happy, if I want to look past what my parents did, but then again, like, it's hard to do it because it's...
I start with saying, be honest, say, what do you want in your class? It's not about putting the information into a kid. I mean, more and more, the kids can get the information they want. It's really what I think the old definition of a teacher should be. It's about motivating the kid, it's about supporting the kid, it's about coaching the kid.
And they say, the boys go to Jupiter to get more stupider. The girls go to college to get more knowledge. You heard that before? That strikes a chord. That doesn't strike a chord. Because it seems like traditionally, and even according to this, women, mainly single women, are raising their sons to be stronger in body versus stronger in mind.
If you look at it, when a man comes home, he's supposed to come home from work, from a hard job, hands all dirty, and like his body is sore, and she was supposed to be home to clean everything. Like he's supposed to be so sore and so tired from doing muscle work that he can't do stuff like that. So the woman is the one that has to keep a whole house together and do what she has to do. In my life, the way I see Makala is as she's like a bunch of different roles, like a mother / sister / friend, because there was times when if I was going through something personal, like most teachers, you can't go up to them and be like, oh, I'm going to do this around my house, because they don't really care. You don't feel that comfort with them. But with her, I feel comfort. Like I share things with her. I tell her, like, if I'm going through something and I feel sad or I'm mad about something, I could tell her, like, somebody passed away in my family. It got me real emotional. She understands and she'll relate to you, and she talks to you and she says that you're a friend, and it builds a trust over the 4 years.
I am a counselor when I help a student who is grieving. I am also a counselor when I'm helping with domestic violence. When it comes to issues about sexuality, I am a counselor on a lot of levels where my students need emotional support, where families need emotional support.
My family, like my mom, she always told us to be together. Like togetherness was her big thing, and like my job to her, like from what I understand, is to go through life. Basically, it's setting an example and showing my mom and my brothers that it is possible to do whatever you put your mind to. This is the times where all the bad stuff happens to you. You learn so much during your teenage years. And Makala was there for me a lot, But, Makala really cares about us, and, like, that's motivation for me to do what I have to do, too. Because, she pushes us a lot, and she knows that we could do so much more. I gained, so much knowledge from her teachings, personal, school level. Like, she's always been there for us, like, every single one of us in the advisory.
I want them to be able to be independent thinkers, independent learners, be able to use the world around them as a resource, be able to question people about certain things. I'll know that they're able to succeed in this world, because if you're independent, you're able to do for yourself.